Hello, Future X.
And so last session, we got to the Nox station, performed some trade, made quite a significant trade, and didn't even roll up any trouble comes along with it. The Raza was allowed to be docked, and crew from the Nox boarded. You, I believe, you ended up deciding to get the weapons worked on also.
Yeah.
Using some of the credit that you got from your sale. The Nox wasn't able to put forward quite as much as you'd made on your trade in like transferable credits. Instead, you got shipyard credit for work on this and future ships or this ship in the future. While Percy, Das, and I believe Doug are, actually I can probably look at the screen, are out, oh, we are framed right now. While Percy, Doug, and Das are out completing the trade, oh, and Kana is with them as well, according to the map I have, are out completing parts of the trade. There's somebody that comes to the small security room that the Nox has provided for your ship because you're docked with Shinobin military credentials and under a Shinobin military contract. And that person claimed to be a part of the Raza crew and asked, "Why won't you let me on?" Of course, you guys saw right through that clever ruse and had Orion try to convince him to leave, and when he wouldn't, bodily convinced him to leave and close the door behind him. He still wouldn't leave. He just leaned against the door, blocking your view outside into the tube beyond that, and you called Nox security on him, which, to be fair, is exactly what should be done. Nox security came by, tried to get him to leave, and he still refused, and so they stunned him, and he hulked out on them, and that's where we left you guys.
I see.
Yep.
Do we have any idea who he is?
Nope.
Oh, you've got a name.
The one time...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, the one time that we actually follow standard procedure for dealing with something, and standard procedure gets a fucking Hulk jumped on them.
To be fair, would you rather that had happened inside the security room with you?
No, but my point stands. Like, I'm allowed to dislike something without wanting it to be worse.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I am from America, so.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, him.
And that's where we'll bring you in.
Okay.
So, Dex, just to check, not doing the focus also included not doing skill points. Am I good to put some skills in as well?
Yeah, if you have an idea what you want, and you don't worry that the focus pick might shift those around, go ahead and do those real quickly. If you
I've also picked the focus. So.
Oh, you picked the focus. What'd you pick?
I picked alert.
Oh, dope. Okay.
It makes more sense for Das. Mental stuff.
That's fair. Okay.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of Dex rewriting another teleporting contaminant.
No, they can still try to teleport Das. Das might just see it coming this time.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just joking. He'll probably still actually go for it anyway, and there's even a chance it might work.
Yeah, it might work. It might still work.
Now, if I'm gonna do anything to you, and you've got cool shit that says nope, I'm gonna let you have your cool shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the problem here is that
I fully expect the things to still happen.
The problem is that the cool shit here only says probably not.
Yeah, no, the cool shit this time says I know it's going to happen. It doesn't say I can stop it happening. It just says I know it's going to happen.
Oh dear.
Being able to see the freight train coming does not assist me in not getting hit.
All right, let me actually move you guys over to the player screen, the ship screen, so you can see this. All right, yeah, Kana is fully within that. I think that the when I copy pasted it over, it shifted your positions a little bit. So there's no question, Kana was with the group. I'm gonna move you over to the actual grid here. And Lulu, do you have any questions about things as they stand?
Let's see. So, dude hulking out outside. Based on whatever memories I have, or any information I might have, is there any possibility that this person was telling the truth about being part of the Raza crew, just not remembered by the other characters, I guess?
If you're referring to what little knowledge or memory, yeah, I guess knowledge Virgilia has of past cycles, then nothing comes up.
Okay.
Is there something else you meant?
No, that's about it.
Okay. All right, let's get some music going here, I think. Let's just go straight to Mortal Kombat. Okay. It's absolutely reasonable for the four of you on the Nox to have some idea of what's going on out there.
Yeah.
There was already communication.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, real quick. There was already communication about the situation with Benoit Carell. And I thought I looked at something else and lost my train of thought. And so you guys already know that there's something going on there. But you are needed here, theoretically, to complete part of the trade stuff. Now, it's a reasonable assumption that if some emergency comes up, you'll be able to come back to this without any real. You're not going to get penalized for that. I'm not taking any money away from you. But yeah, go ahead. I ran over you, Viral. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, it was just me interrupting a thing that you wound up kind of alluding to midway through the thing.
Okay.
I thought we were like, we heard that stuff was or we had comms that there was stuff going on here, and we were going to come back to check it out. Was that a thing, or am I imagining that?
That could absolutely be a thing. Yeah. Like I said, they don't need you here this very minute. You're in the Nox Central Hub. You are pretty far away from the action.
Yeah, I feel like they could probably do with us getting there quickly.
Okay. Well, let's kind of play this out not play it out, but narrate it out as it's happening. There's a dude that hulked out, and by hulked out, I'm being a little bit misleading in using those terms. He mutated. He is not a thick, muscly monstrosity. He has become a tall, gangly, and a little bit of tentacle blade armed monstrosity.
Yeah, he did the Resident Evil thing.
He did the Resident Evil thing, yeah.
Why do I get the feeling he's going to be unsettlingly fast?
He's going to be what?
Unsettlingly fast.
I have no idea which Resident Evil monster you're referring to.
I'm not referring to a Resident Evil monster. I've never played Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. I have.
This is just me guessing.
And his mutation came about in reaction to physical trauma from both of the guards trying to stun rod him. He immediately lashed out as his suit ripped. He did get bigger. He immediately lashed out as his suit ripped and bone calcified into, well, some kind of sharp blade. Sharp, bony blade. The Nox security, they've already called it in. They've already screamed for backup. Oh shoot. I need a file open. Hang on one second. I'm sorry to kill the momentum here. Fortunately, all my stuff is very well organized, so I can immediately get to this.
Unfortunately, you have a funny group so that we can talk to each other and entertain the hypothetical viewers while you're. Okay, no, that was mean. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know where we stand with either of those, fortunately, now, because I do have what I need open.
See, I stalled long enough. You're welcome.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Fantastic. You can't see, but I'm giving a thumbs up to the camera.
You see that he's calling for immediate UBCS backup. And I'm sure some of you will know what UBCS is, so I need to remind myself what the acronym stands for. Ah, there we go. Let's see. Who is... Do you have any NPCs that are from, not Mercur, that are from, Thulrid? Or the Nox, I guess?
Not sure.
Let me check Virgilia's sheet. It says no.
Oh, I'm glad you checked. Thank you, being thorough. All right. Well, anyone that wants to roll can try and roll to know what they're calling for. Connect or no would be good here. Or heal.
Intelligence has him?
With intelligence.
Okay, that's still pretty feasible. Okay then.
Nox, no.
Nox, what are you trying to do? You think that's what they're calling for, huh?
Alright, UBCS is Uniform Biohazard Countermeasures Service. It is a Mercur Corps arm of the security division. Or sorry, it is a branch of the Mercur Corps security division. That's more clearly stated.
So the people who do the biomutants, also the people who hire out the security against biomutants. How interesting.
Yeah, there's some interesting things there.
Can you say conflict of interest?
It's a really good grift, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
This is just another way of being like they're gaining plausible deniability and also field data.
You can't prove that Mercur does have biohazard stuff.
For the low price of some disposable minions. Oh, Jesus.
Alright, so that's the situation. Those inside the security room can easily see that if left alone, if unassisted, the Nox security outside will be torn apart. They do not stand a chance.
Yeah.
They'll be fine.
No, they won't. No, they won't. They really won't.
No, they'll come back next cycle.
Yeah, they won't really be dead.
Again.
You broke up.
Cycle. I still have a vested interest in the one that I'm alive in.
You'll be alive again next cycle.
No, a different person will be alive again next cycle. I'm already like as we're saying this, it's going to comms if it needs to. I'm already moving.
I don't think I didn't notice that the NPCs that were allowed on to kind of stay on the Nox and enjoy their accommodations have been arranged into a smiley face.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know who did that, but it's adorable.
Wait, where? What?
It's on a different
What?
screen. You'll see it
Okay.
later.
Okay. Okay. Oh no.
Sorry, where was I relative to this? Am I still on the ship?
I don't know. I don't think we figured out where you were during this, so you get to be where you want to be.
Yeah, let's see. I think the last thing I remember Virgilia doing was basically dropping a few, or speaking with other ships, the Nox and other like technicians and stuff, and dropping the hints that triggered the actual sale.
Yeah, after that she could have more or less done whatever she wanted to. I don't know if you were here for the description of it. The accommodations available at the Nox are nice. They're better than the barracks that most of your crew are assigned to, because they're actual single rooms. But they're still small, and the Nox has this whole. These were available to you, but we'd really prefer if you didn't use them, and that you stayed on your ship and did not get in the way. So basically, it's better for the Nox for your crew to stay confined to barracks while people work on your ship, because then that leaves them space for other people to use.
Right. On the other hand, this is the first time I've been off my planet and exploring the wider galaxy, so I just imagine she might not be using the rooms, but she is going out to visit the services and stuff.
Okay.
We'll
do a little
whether
bit of...
she.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say whether she's back right now as this is happening or not is mostly just up to chance, I think.
I'll give you a little bit to help you make a decision on that. We'll say that she ventured out into one of the arms a little bit, and you may recall my description from a one-shot of the Nox I think you were involved in. Basically how tightly packed they are. This is a little bit unsettling for crew, but also a little bit... It's one of those train wreck unsettlings. Like, I don't want to see this, but I'm watching it.
I get ya.
So how do you think Virgilia would react in that?
Let's see. Tightly packed. I think it's a little uncomfortable for her, certainly, but I think curiosity is at least making her push forward, just because she hasn't had the chance to really actually be outside of her home planet, and just outside of scattered memories from crew. So still curious to see what things are like, and that discomfort is not quite overweighing that desire to just poke her nose in things, I guess.
Okay. Then yeah, I think that's all reasonable. This is occurring a few days in, so she can have gotten some of her exploratory desires and curiosities out of the way.
So yeah, we'll say she's back on the ship then.
All right, sounds good. Who else was in the security room? I know it was Orion and the Kevins were the security you called up, but who else was there with them? Who was there before they got called up?
I wasn't. I know that much.
Right. I don't think any of the PCs were. Well, we won't worry about that unless we have to.
I don't think we will.
Because Orion is taking a stance of, we're not going... Oh, whoops, I did move him too far back. That's on your ship. He's taking a stance of, we're not going out there because this is now a Nox security situation.
That seems fair. That seems reasonable.
And back in the hub, you guys are starting on your way back. Are you just walking back, or are you taking any additional steps? Are you bringing? Are you recalling your crew that's out here? Are you letting them stay?
I think we want the crew to stay away from this because most of them, like Nox Security, don't stand much of a chance.
Okay.
As for additional steps, yes, lots of them quickly and running.
All right. Let's see. It will take you some time to get there. This is definitely not a 1 minute trip.
Okay.
I think I have a solution.
That sounds menacing. Hit me with it.
It should be. I don't have a solution for getting you back, but I might have a solution that prevents the local Nox from getting killed.
That works.
Yeah.
So, let's see this. Now, I have tethered independence, so crew has a good amount of freedom of movement.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be possible for him to get in there, I guess. Is that acceptable, Dex? What I just posted in Roll20.
Hang on, I'm trying to find out why I'm not hearing any music real quick.
In the same vein, if you and Tess are together, you could. I could port you out. I could port you over here.
Alright, that's the music. Roll 20. Yeah,
Rather
you guys,
back onto the ship.
oh wow, going for the dark. Okay.
You haven't tested.
What? I never had to make any decisions on that. All right, so I've got a few things that are being tossed up. Kana can teleport herself and someone else to the scene, get them there faster.
Right, that's a thought.
And Virgilia can try to possess the mutation and just pull it out there. Now, do you remember that? Let's see. Oh no, that limitation is taken away with the dark possession. Yep. It doesn't matter if anybody touches them.
Yep.
No, that limitation is still there. They can
What's
die, but if somebody touches them,
Right. It's very much it's there's a reason it's a high level ability.
yeah. Now, when I say touch, I don't just mean that pokes them with a stun rod. I'm talking about actual soul to soul contact.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey buddy, are you okay? You over there? Tapping on the shoulder would disrupt the possession, but stabbing somebody would not. Don't worry, the guards are not going to be doing that to this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's at the bottom of the standard possession. The touch of any other creature will do that. Oddly enough, shooting them will not do that, though.
It has to
What,
do.
sorry?
It has to do with the connection, the souls, and all that.
Right. So that's normal possession though. Dark possession is stronger, so it doesn't need
Does that mean? Does that mean if the creature managed to attack somebody, that would count and he'd be ejected?
No, I wouldn't take away on that.
Again, it's not relevant here.
Yeah.
Since that applies to normal possession, not dark possession. Regardless, I think yeah. If it's like rearing up to go ahead and attack someone, she's just going to have Fru go stop it effectively.
Okay. And for
If that's a thing you can do, then you're the highest priority person to get there.
I'm already on the ship.
Already there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
and if you think it's reasonable for Virgilia to have become curious what the commotion was at the airlock, then it's not unreasonable that she's already there.
Yeah.
Security on the ship would definitely have made communication waves about somebody trying to get in, even if you're kind of restricted in your movements due to the ongoing work. There's at least a sort of yellow alert. So, yeah, Virgilia can be there. And then Kana, what are you guys doing as far as your group here? Are you teleporting the whole group? Or you're teleporting Percy?
I mean, it could be someone else other than Percy, but realistically, I
Percy
think
is if there's like actual
Probably,
danger, Percy seems the best option.
See, I'm inclined to agree, but I don't want to feel like I'm hogging it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how many can I take with the burdened?
Like 16.
Yeah.
Okay, well, never
So we could all
mind.
go. We just have to probably not teleport directly in. We want to be a little bit out.
You teleport directly into this small room, and the monster can't do shit because it's just packed into a corner.
Just start to do cramming damage.
What was that, Nox?
I said we just start taking entity cramming damage.
Yep.
Okay.
But I actually do agree with Orion on them having like people to take care of this, and if nobody is calling Myokin out for a pickup, then Myokin's not wasting the effort and the time to go do one.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold on here with like a gun or something trained at the door.
Oh wait,
Just to
Myokin
keep her in the
actually
break.
was with the. That's who else was in the security room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, in that case, yeah, I don't think. For Percy, at least, I don't think like calling on you to come and get me to bring me there would occur over like just sprint.
Let's get that last token on the map. So Lulu, did Virgilia wander up before the action started?
I think if she heard someone was knocking in, claiming to be a member of the Raza, but clearly wasn't a member of the Raza as the current Raza knew it, she would certainly be curious to see what the hell was going on.
Okay. The security room is very small. This map is not to scale, and so it is getting cramped with 5 of you in here, but you all fit.
No, it's 6 of us. You got to count crew separately.
Crew doesn't take up extra space though.
Yeah.
For the
very
purposes of how many,
convenient.
for the purposes of how many people can fit in this room, you one person.
You're breaking up occasionally here, Viral.
Ah, shit.
All I heard was
Yeah, I was
for the
just saying-
purposes of.
For the purposes of how many of you can fit in this room, you count as the same person.
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the question is not how many people are in the room; it's how many bodies are in the room.
Yeah.
fair.
And crew is a passenger on yours.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, a couple things happen. We'll resolve Virgilia or crew's possession. In fact, let me remove the other one. The touching still does affect the dark possession. But like I said, it's not just because the possessed entity stabbed somebody. It's actually somebody coming up and touching them, shaking them, making soul to soul or memory to memory contact.
Okay.
I'm gonna hide that one just to get it out of the way. Thank you for posting it though.
So hold on.
Mhm.
All right. So the advantage of dark possession then is not the avoiding the touch thing. It's just it's harder to resist, and you aren't expelled if they're reduced to 0 hit points.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once they're reduced to 0 hit points, you can make them do anything, including kill themselves.
Okay.
Which normal possession can't do in any way.
Right.
Yeah. So as Prue is hemming and hawing on the implications here, there are things happening over at the Nox Hub. Both Percy and Das's hairs on the back of their necks raise. The movements seem very innocuous. It's just Mercur staff shuffling. There's obviously something going on. People are interested in what's the alert, and you know, UBCS, Mercur security is being called out to do something. So there's a little bit of a hubbub, but there's a little bit of this little bit of hubbub that seems just a little bit wrong. Your alert has triggered, both of you. Nice pick, Ginja. Someone here is definitely planning some action. There's enough Mercur that I'm not going to let you suss out, you know, just give you immediately who it is or what they are going to do, but you do know that they tried to kidnap Das by teleportation in the past. You also know from Kana that Kana has been on the Nox, right? I believe so, because I remember telling you that there were psychics about.
Something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, so you do know that there are psychics around on the Nox. And it makes a lot of sense because Thurid is one of the two main, has one of the two main psychic academies in the sector. It has the more prestigious and popular one. There should be psychics all over the place. Maybe not on the Nox, it's not exactly a tourist destination. But if you went down to Thurid, there sure would be.
Okay. I think Das's first instinct on sort of sensing something being maybe wrong, probably wrong, is be as close to Percy as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I know a direction, then I'm behind Percy, but otherwise I'm just as close as possible.
Okay.
Without
Yeah,
hindering Percy's ability to see what's going on or act if needed.
Bear in mind that once Percy gets that sort of prickling, he'll stop running and like sort of sweep the environment, make sure nobody's too close, and then say to Das, something's wrong.
Yep. And Das is kind of doing the same scanning of where is this coming from?
All right. Over in the tube, is it called the Jeffrey's tube? No, that's just for mechanical stuff. It's basically a catwalk tube across the outside of the arm. The thing makes a save. Now I'm not able to modify the save, but with a -6 Oh my goodness. With a -6, that still succeeds.
Huh.
That's unexpected. I did not. I honestly expected it to just show up red right off.
No. Apparently has a good enough saving throw.
Yeah, just those 2 points higher. Well, 1 point higher was good enough. So you know that it's more than one hit die. It does get a save against this. And there's a vague sense of relief and concern from crew. Relief that it hasn't come to this, the dark possession, but also concerned because now what?
Well, that's a great question. Now I think we're going to have some unfortunate things happen to some security personnel.
Oh dear.
Let me double check.
Now, I hate to do this to myself, but do remember the Tethered Independence crew does not have to stay with Virgilia and can move through things, and various effects that you can do come from crew, not Virgilia.
Okay. That's a good point. Technically, refined telekinesis is a move action, not a main action, so I can still use that.
Sure.
How tall is the room that the creature was in?
6'6".
Okay, so very small.
Very
Are they
small, yeah.
like hunched over then?
They are hunched over. Yeah, it's a tube made for. You know what? Maybe the Nox have gotten a little bit taller because of the low G. We'll call it 7 feet, but that's hardly difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, the creature is certainly going to be hunched over a little bit. It's just a tube meant to get people from the ship into the Nox hub without having to go through the crowded arm. There's barely space for passing.
Yep.
I mean, it's not barely space. There's space for passing, but just. Certainly wouldn't be transporting anything down there.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try to use refined telekinesis to see if I can. Well, I guess the only real option is choke it unconscious. Can it make a physical save?
Well, go ahead and post refined telekinesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. Let it roll a physical save.
Which it succeeds on. So yeah. Alas, nothing for that for now.
Yeah, its efforts against crew and its interest in slicing these mean people with the sparky sticks are overpowering crew's ability to get a hold. Plus, its neck isn't really like normal neck. That doesn't actually have any mechanical effect, but it's becoming weird.
Yeah. Oh well.
Over at the Nox and the hub, she's good. She's very good, but she's up against two people who are painfully paranoid. One born that way probably, and one made that way. She's going to get a touch attack, but before she does, you both have the equivalent of a main action that you can that's been saved up because of your alertness. This won't use up your next main action should this go into combat. That you can use to do anything that you would be able to do with a held main action. So examples include total defense, snap attack, other actions would be covered under hold, because that also requires a held main action. So you see a Mercur. She just looks like a assistant to somebody that's there. Nondescript, pretty enough to work at Mercur. And she's not coming towards you. She's moving from the group that she's assisting to a terminal that's just past you to enter some data. But there's just enough off with her gait that when she reaches out toward Das, you're not taken by surprise. She does not get that automatic touch on you. And you're also getting the benefit of that held main action.
Yeah.
What would you both like to do before I roll her attack?
What kind of action would it be to, like, narratively, I'm going to say, like, bump into her, but not, like, accidentally bump into her, like borderline shoulder check her, just try and knock her back a bit. Is that, like, a push action of it?
Yeah, that's basically, we would go to the forcing enemy movement. You'd be effectively trying to block her from Das, right?
Yeah, basically just, like, bump her away. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you, shoulder barge. Sorry.
I'll need you to tell me how aggressive Percy will be, because you've seen in the past that what their intent is, and just getting in her way, Percy can imagine 1,000 different ways that she could be like, oh yeah, sorry, it's okay, and then reach past him, or, move around and try to get to death. So give me a little bit more description of how he's going to prevent her from getting to Das.
Like, I imagine that whatever she's doing is going to have, like, a thin veneer of, oh yeah, that could feasibly be, like, just someone doing a thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas it's actually, yeah. So Pence is going to do something like that, like, stumble a bit as if he's losing his balance and just sort of bang into her, try and knock her back a step or two. Which is, like, could be like, oh, sorry, I fell over into you. But also, like, between the step knocked back, getting a balance and move forward again, that gives Das enough time to make a break for it.
Okay, and before you roll anything with that, what is Das doing?
It would depend on exactly when this is happening. If it's once we're already in melee and can't really run without doing something like fighting withdrawal, it would be total defense. But if I have an opportunity to run and get somewhere probably nearer to Doug, then it would be move.
Yeah, this is before rolling initiative, so you've got a full range of actions that you can take.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way: her touch, if it succeeds or doesn't succeed, basically her attack is going to initiate the combat. And she's getting that after we resolve your two actions.
Yeah. How far away is Doug? Roughly?
Maybe a meter. He was looking at a display model of some spike drive tech on a wall, because you're in the administrative and kind of trade and visitor hub. So they've got some stuff to look at here, and he's just looking at the schematics of how they came up with their drive innovations.
Okay. And how busy is the area? Like, are there people near Doug, or?
There are other people near Doug. It's kind of pre-COVID shopping mall busy, not seasonal busy, but just normal everyday shopping mall busy.
Yeah. Okay. I think in that case, I think I'll move away out of the path of the one that's coming towards us, a little bit towards Doug.
Okay.
And just try and not be there when she gets to wherever she's going.
And I am standing by to like accidentally stumble and bump into her whenever she tries to adjust course to still follow Das.
Okay. We're gonna use the forcing enemy movement rules here, and it's actually pretty simple. Excuse me. Oh, whoops. Give me a little sec. There it is. We're gonna forgo the punch attack because you're both. I mean, yeah. We're just gonna forgo the punch attack. And go straight to the opposed punch or exert skill check. So, pick your poison. Strength or dexterity, either are fine.
Dexterity, exert. Dex, you're so kind to me.
I know.
I have a bad feeling about this now. I've been bold about it, but I say it now. So, don't know how I feel about that one. Show me garbage.
Oh.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, wow.
Oh no.
Ugh. They brought a specialist. Fantastic.
Yep.
I hate to say it, but that was just a +2 on the skill check.
Yeah, that's an 11 on the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a moment where it's this awkward tangle of, oh, sorry, and she's apologizing too, giggling and playing it off. It's okay. I'm just going. You go that way, I'll go this way. And
yeah, Percy tries to like enact the thing where you're both stepping side to side in front of each other by accident. I'm sorry, yep. In spite of her saying, you go that way, I'll go this way, Percy's like, okay, goes the same way as her.
Yep. And like a graceful dancer, she laughs it off as you sidestep in the same direction once, and then she jukes around to get past him with a little smile and a wave. As she...
Yeah, Percy like picks her foot out to try and trip her up on the way past, but he's too slow.
Das is moving towards Doug, and how fast is Das moving? Is she running or is she hustling? Or is she just walking?
I mean, Doug was like, you said like a meter away?
Yeah, it's only a couple meters. I think I said a few, but I'm happy to just call that 2. Like he's
a few, yeah,
easily within walking distance.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, I think Das is, in some ways, young enough to pull this off without it looking too weird. Gonna kind of do a weird run, skip, jump thing, and end up like landing next to Doug.
Okay. Does Das have any exert skill?
I have +0.
Okay.
Better than nothing.
Tell you what then.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cover when she makes her attack from Doug. Go ahead and make an exert skill check. Difficulty is only 6 here. And if you succeed, I will count that as another +2.
Okay. Exert with
dexterity, I think.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Not bad.
And
Not bad at all.
what was your armor class?
If I'm in my polymorphic blending CFU, which I almost certainly am, 17.
All right.
Yeah. No, like I'd be in that unless I have a reason to not be. So. Yep.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that it's that this doesn't do the D&D thing and say, well, too bad your armor doesn't count. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It seems like a conscious decision that things that need to touch you still have to beat your armor class. So,
Which is nice.
it's nice. So you've got a 17, and you've got a +2 cover bonus from Doug, and a +2 hop, skip, and a jump bonus from Das.
Nice.
Nice. No.
Oh dear.
What the
Oh dear.
hell?
I think that's yeah, with a pair of +2s, that's an effective 21 AC.
Oh
That still gets
Jesus.
through.
This girl is looking really fucking skilled right now.
She's just rolling really, really, really ridiculously well. It's a 5 and a 6, and then an 18. She's rolled 3 off max.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
she
not
has.
like we're
3
incompetent, you
off
know.
of max on 3 separate dice. Total.
It's not like we're incompetent either, you know.
Yeah, like this is not us being incompetent. This is the enemy being significantly more lucky and competent. Like, they just, yeah.
Well, she is.
Dex,
Uh,
hold on, Dex, hold on. Did you load the dice?
So, anyways.
Oh.
Hang on a minute, Chief. Hang on a fucking minute.
All right, so this is gonna reveal a little bit. I may have already said this once before, but this girl is not just an administrative assistant.
Really?
Really?
You could have fooled me, guy. You could have fooled me. Did anyone else
Oh, no.
guess?
So Das gets to make a save against offensive apportation
Apportation. I swear to
with
fucking
a
God.
-2 penalty.
So,
Swear to fucking
well,
God.
I guess wild talent counts as psychic then here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not technically psychic, but yeah, I've got the wild psychic, so it's
Yeah, that was the intent of it. I could clarify that language, but yeah, the intent was basically anybody that has
anyone
the
with
pathing.
some kind of Yep. Okay. What's the save?
Just a save. Oh, right.
what kind?
This does have different saves for PCs.
Yeah.
Mental saving throw.
Mental save. Okay. Oh God. Of course I roll a 4 when it matters. I mean, not that it matters that much, because that's a 2 after the penalty, but still.
I am astounded. After you guys just shut down and stuffed the previous attempt at this.
Yeah. The last attempt we did so well, and this attempt, just everything fails.
Well,
I would like to reiterate, Dex,
Yeah.
turn out your fucking pockets. I need to see where are the actual dice.
well, gang, who is ready for a side quest to go rescue Das?
Yeah. I don't know. We're really close to the end of the game.
Not so close that we can afford to abandon a PC, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately.
I guess.
Like, I'm just saying, if it was you.
Okay. That's fair.
Uh,
I understand.
Dex, what the fuck is with your dice?
In what is definitely way too subtle of an effect for what just happened. There's no bright flash of light. There's no gust of wind. It's just a little bit of a shuffling of the air and a zipping sound as Das and this girl that you both very clearly identified as being a threat vanish.
Hop, skip, jump, zip, gone.
So, what's happening over at the security station?
So,
Dex!
I do have a question before we jump over there.
Go for it.
There was some stuff of Das carrying Kanna's dagger.
I believe Das was
At
carrying
some point.
Kenna's dagger.
Yes.
Good,
Cool.
good.
Good.
I do believe that was a precaution that you guys specifically made.
Indeed.
So
I wasn't sure if we actually made that
Nilken knows
precaution.
that this happened then.
Miokin does know that Das has suddenly is suddenly in a different place, and she did not get there by walking.
Yeah, I don't think I walked. I think I hop, skipped, and jumped, and then something else happened.
And I think that is a great cut over to the security station where Kana is.
That's fair.
Milken is going to note the change and immediately port over to it.
Okay. Virgilia, Orion, and the Kevins see Kana disappear all of a sudden. And
Once
hang on real quick. I'm staying with the security room real quick. And the violent monstrosity outside has just killed one of the Nox security.
Can we ask what it did?
Yeah. It very much like you expected. It moves very fast. They pulled out their void carbines and started trying to shoot at it, angling such that they're not going to hit each other, but trusting in the integrity of their tube and the softer impact of the void carbine bullets to not penetrate.
Bastards.
It almost teleports, but it's definitely not. For one, Kana detected no psychic activity, and if you're staring at it, you can actually see that it just moves unnaturally fast, dodging bullets. Not actually dodging bullets, but dodging where the bullets are aimed before they become flying bullets. And it reaches out, just rapid thrust with a bone blade protruding from its unnaturally long arm, and skewers the security guard. Very nearly makes it to the wall of the tube. You have no doubt that with the strength you see this thing exhibiting, it would pierce through, because it lifts the security up and turns to face the other one.
I see now. Dex was asking what Resident Evil monster I thought this was, so that he would know if I've been taking inspiration from the same thing as him.
Maybe. So, yeah, Kana bamfs out. Virgilia and Orion are still there. What would you guys like to do?
Which of us guys are you talking about? Are you talking about the security room people or all the people?
Security room people.
Okay.
And I guess I can move Das out of the Nox box.
Thanks. Oh God.
Lulu?
Sorry, I got distracted by some text messages from Mom.
That's okay.
Tell you about
Viral covered for you by asking for a very vivid description of what just happened. You missed it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the video brain can't comprehend the full magnitude. That's why you didn't hear it.
Yeah. So, man just got skewered.
Mm-hmm.
Very unpleasantly.
Correct.
That's unfortunate.
Definitely unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for him. I guess give me another physical save, Dex, for the refined telekinesis again.
Okay.
It's
Wait,
like
doesn't that, I believe once you've saved, you can't be affected.
No,
again.
it's a save for the first round and 2 consecutive saves. Prevent further use on the target. See, it's Save to negate for that round, and 2
if it's
consecutive saves
touched,
prevent
then the
free
choke
use.
is broken and can't be used again. Okay, so yeah, the successful save doesn't actually prevent it from being used again, just being touched.
Unless it's 2 more in a row. So 3 in a row are needed to actually
Gotcha.
stop it.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, he's doing well.
What is with the rolls today? Jesus Christ, Dex.
This is unfortunate.
Dex loaded the near party wipe dice.
I don't understand what that number is. I have to make it go away.
Give me a moment. Sorry, just trying to scroll through the ability bars. Tricky. Well,
You understood the assignment. Good job, Dex.
this is unfortunate. But this is a little bit more of a solution. I guess let's just explode them.
Okay. Yeah, that is very violent. I don't believe there's any save at all for this, right?
No, there is.
Half
it
damage, right?
is. Yeah, save for half damage. Physical save.
Physical save for half. Okay.
I would just like to clarify, you said that might as well hit them with this. You mean the morph as in them gender neutral and not them as in plural guards, right?
It's only one target at a time, so.
Okay, just checking.
The gender neutral them. Did he get a 17 again? 18. Okay. Well, whatever.
Well, go ahead and roll your damage. Let's see.
I don't suppose he's a structure at this
He's not a
point.
structure. No, this is D6.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I was going to say, like, at what point does the monstrosity stop being they and start being it?
That is still a lot of damage.
I think we are already past that point.
I'm gonna roll his hit
Honestly.
points. He does have plus 10 on this roll.
Okay.
Plus 10 on what, sorry?
He's got one more hit point left.
Why are you like this?
Oh, the dice today.
Okay. Oh, Lord. Fine. Be that way, Dex. I know how it is. I know what you're doing.
All right. Well, at this point, I will actually give the other security a roll, an attack roll, because this is legitimately combat for him now. Let's see. Void carbine. No modifier. Actually, no, not Void Carbine. He has been engaged in melee, so he's left with a mono knife. That's not gonna hit. And the thing's armor class is higher than 15.
I will say, I respect the hell out of the security guy for coming at this thing with a knife.
He
You saw it moving.
really getting much of a choice. It's coming after him and binding him up so he can't fire his Void Carbine.
He could try and run.
He could try and
He's going after it with a
run.
knife.
He could, yes. So, props to him for that. He has chosen not to do that. And he probably is saying something about sealing off. He's reporting back as this is going on. It sounds like he's reporting his death rattle, and saying that this thing is on the loose and to seal off this arm that you're on until it can be taken down. We're gonna see how this plays out one more round before we go over to Das and Kana. So,
See how screwed I am.
I'll go ahead and roll this thing's attack against the security guard. Oh, it's definitely gonna hit. And
Oh dear.
we'll give him his hit point roll. Security guard is still alive.
For a moment there, that was fine. That was so close to being 5.
It held on 5. So the scene that you see now is that the security guard has put up a fair fight against this thing. The massive just chunk of elastic rubber banding reality that exploded into the thing from a very visibly glowing ball of light on the other side. Now, Crew does have to be in the tunnel, otherwise he'd be destructing through the walls of the tunnel, of course.
Yeah.
Certainly helped distract the creature, but it's got a hand. It's got its non-bladed hand on the security guard's shoulder, and will easily be able to just fling him against the wall if he is not taken down in this round. Because he'll kill him with shock damage essentially. There's no way that this guy lives unless this creature is killed right now. We'll have Virgilia go first.
Okay. Well, I guess it's the last time I can try this if they save again, but let's go ahead and try the refined telekinesis.
All right.
Oh, thank God.
Wow. You've got to do
Finally.
1 damage.
Yeah, I think they just dropped then. So
Why don't you go ahead and roll it anyways?
this is 6.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
All right.
All right.
So I guess Crew gives up on trying to go for the neck and just ends up going right for the windpipe. Cuts that off.
Might be
I don't know exactly how it works.
We'll give you a little creative help here. The destructive telekinesis definitely tore open bits of flesh, and Crew is kind of trying to pull that apart even more with the refined telekinesis. Something finally snaps, and the creature, his grip on the security guard loosens and it falls to the ground. I should note, by the way, that it was still mutating as this fight was going on. Some of the flesh that Crew is pulling apart is pulling itself back together, and similar to what you saw with Trail, this, even though that was non-lethal damage, this thing ultimately ends up killing itself with its mutation.
Well,
it over-mutates, trying to compensate for all of the damage, and you can just see that it's getting slower and weaker. It's slow enough that the guard was able to hop and skip back and plant a few more bullets into it now that it's kind of just lumping along the ground.
Boy.
Crew can continue pulling it apart with the refined telekinesis. And at some point, its skull overgrows with muscle, and you just hear the sickening crunch and slurp of neural connections being severed. Its neck twists in an ungodly position. It tries to twist it even more, and it stops moving. All right, good session, guys. So then we're on for next week.
Back.
All right. So Das feels this woman just barely graze her. It was a valiant effort from her new dancing partner Percy, and so close for Das. Doug reached out to Doug also tried to get in the way. He tried to brush her arm apart, but like this nimble little dancer that she's proven to be, her reach out was a feint, and she kind of just shifts her arm around Doug's as his is going up to block her, hers is going around and under, and just snags Das, barely taps her on the slightly armored bits of her arm. And all of a sudden she finds herself in a different room. You're still on the Nox. You're not in a cage, you're not in prison or anything. Teleportation doesn't allow that. And you're also not surrounded by guns or anything. That would also be potentially a dangerous situation to teleport into. You're teleported to what looks like the greeting room for an airlock. A little bit more, less of a security room and more of a waiting room. You can see that the airlock itself, the room itself, is designated as a Mercur exclusive. This is clearly one of the berths that they just have for their ships. There's a wet bar along one side of it, and an attendant there that looks over and starts making a drink. And the woman that has abducted Das tries to hold her hands up in a gesture of peace. I'm not going to hurt you. And what is Das doing?
Is there just the two people in the room?
No, there's one other person. Just kind of sitting on the couch over there. He looks up as you both teleport in, and he's reading a data, or was reading a data slab. Kind of lets that lower onto his lap and watches the proceedings.
Okay. I think given the preparations, Das would ensure that the one who just teleported her here is not within arm's reach. Like step away if needed, and just be sort of look around, observe from that position.
Okay. She starts to say, as I said, she's raising her hands up. She's trying to give you all the body language that says, "I'm not going to hurt you," and she starts to say, "You're safe here. You're in good hands. Delica just wants to," and then Kana appears.
Kana's immediately going to grab Daz and port out.
So Kana,
duplication.
as Kana teleports in, and Nox, hold your reaction until I'm done here. Let's see, where is it? Hang on real quick. So Kana senses this. She doesn't get the exact details of it, but she gets the sense that her teleport is getting a kind of psychic beacon tacked onto it. Except it slides right off. This is a Metapsychics power, and Kana is immune to them.
Which probably leaves them quite confused, which gives you a chance to escape.
They don't have a moment. It's an instant action.
Yeah, they don't have a moment.
unless they had prepared an action to stop someone porting in and then porting out immediately. They have no ability to respond.
No, this was
somehow
what they
I
got
don't
to
think
do.
they were expecting this.
Probably.
They definitely were not expecting a psychic with invulnerable impervious pavius of will. Where is Kana teleporting Das to?
Onto the ship.
Okay. Das, you are teleported again. Find yourself in safety on the Raza.
Okay, I'm not going out there again.
Honestly, fair. Very fair.
If you said that out loud, Miokin's saying no.
I mean, I don't know if Daz would say it out loud, but I think it's very obvious from the look that she's giving that she's not going out there again.
All right, that's the other fire put out.
Okay. I can change the music, I think.
There is still one thing left.
Okay.
A woman just teleported Das out from in front of Percy and Doug.
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably separate bags.
What do Percy and Doug want to do about it?
Uh,
I mean, that actually is a really good, really valid point. I hadn't even considered the fact that what is Percy's reaction to this?
yeah. So, Dex, my question to you, I will answer your question with a question. What is the largest firearm that would be socially acceptable to carry onto a shipyard?
None.
Fantastic. Okay, I'll open up my body arsenal away. I'll fire up the knife and the laser rifle.
Okay.
And I will point the rifle very both of them honestly, very squarely, directly at her head, and just, calmly, casually ask, "Where is she? Who the fuck are you?"
Who is Percy pointing this at?
Huh?
The woman that just touched Das and suddenly, whoop, she's gone.
Oh no, she went with Das. She's also gone.
Okay, I didn't. Shit, never mind then.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, she teleported with Das.
Okay, fucker.
She's the one that was trying to hold up her hands and tell Das that Celica and Mercur just, want something.
Okay. Okay, in that case, we give it, we continue heading back to the ship and give it, 15 seconds. And then call Pan and ask if she's okay. Or call Pan or something,
I think within that span of time, you've already got reports that Das is back on the ship and that the monster is down.
Fantastic.
They're just coming in at the end of Percy's nerves, sitting there waiting 1 second, 2 seconds. How fucking long is a second?
Yeah.
What is time?
And, hilarious. Yeah, no weapons or anything. Percy just, as they're waiting, Percy looks at Doug and he's just like, "The women on the team are fucking terrifying. Do you ever feel like they don't need us?"
I think Doug's response is something about, well, no, someone's got to look after the drive.
Wow, thanks. That makes me feel better.
We'll run that by Meowkin next session and make sure that's. But I think that's in
No,
character.
that sounds like the kind of thing he'd say. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you have an out if you want to go back to the ship. The administrators of this trade that were, walking through and that you were going along with, they're all also responding to the kind of yellow alert on the station. They
Mhm.
they'll get the word that it has winded down and can continue if Percy and Doug want to continue, but if they
Mm.
don't, then they would prefer to come back to this later after everything is settled a little bit and let
That's
you
fair.
go back to the ship if you want.
That's fair. That's not my primary concern at this moment.
Okay.
When Percy gets the report of Das being okay and Monster being dead, the first question is, do we know what Das was taking?
Yes.
Well, Kana does, yeah.
I was gonna ask, can I offensive apport a bomb? Is that a thing that I can do?
Please don't bomb the Nox shipyard. Send me, I'm safer.
I was just gonna to bomb the ship.
That works. That works. Like, not that I know this because I don't know where Das was taken. I thought you would volunteer the information.
I only know in as far as the character knows. I do not know myself because Dex hasn't said it yet.
Dex,
Oh, what?
where was Das taken?
Oh, she was still in the Nox station.
More detail.
She was taken to a Mercur core waiting room outside of a Mercur core ship.
Okay.
For what you want
Do
to
we know-
do, you don't need to get more detailed than that. If you obviously, if you need more detail for something, then tell me what it is you're going to do, and I'll make sure to wrap the detail around that.
Okay. Yeah, Percy is going to say to Myokin, I'm going to go pay them a visit. Do you want to come with?
Do we know from the brief glimpse that we had there where, not where, but like, could we pin it down on a map?
See,
No.
that's what I thought. Okay, see, that's why I was asking, do we know where she was taken?
Okay.
Gotcha. No. And sorry, I should have expected. I don't know if expected is the right word. That's a question I should have predicted. No, you can't just make your way there. You don't know where on the Nox it is specifically.
Okay,
you can teleport there.
Unless I unless I teleport there.
Right.
Mhm.
And real quick,
I'd
to
hope that, like,
answer
between...
Nox's earlier question, no, you cannot just offensive apport a bomb, but you could teleport there with a bomb and then rift to duplicate out without it.
Yeah, that works.
But you can't just send packages with offensive apportation. You have to go with the package.
Mm.
And Viral, I ran over you. What were you saying?
I forgot.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wanted to answer Nox's question because it had sat for a while.
Yeah, yeah, I figured that, like, between potential geolocation stuff and Das's gear, I don't know, and the psychic stuff, we'd be able to know where they are. And, you know, if we can teleport there, then that's good enough. Yeah, if Jokin says that, like, you could teleport back, but you couldn't walk back, Percy's just going to say, pick me up before you go. Or even, you know what, scratch that, actually. I'm coming back to the ship. And I will continue making my way back to the ship.
I feel like you might be fine with just the stuff that you have.
I mean, quite possibly.
I could grab your stuff and bring it to you.
That works. I meant more for, like, to get... I, as a player, meant to give your character time to get a bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. I can bring it with me over to you, and then we can both go over there.
Okay. Yeah, void carbon is probably optimal, but if you want to give me something with a bit more kick, I'm not going to complain.
At this point, it'd be funny to Thundergun straight up there. Airlock.
But we do. It would, but we do like the Nox, and we don't want to cause structural damage. They're already hanging on by a thread. We don't want to snip it.
So I know the vac suits have like a camera thing.
Mm-hmm.
Does a CFU have the same kind of stuff, or?
I kind of assume that you guys all, as long as you're in some kind of high-tech security armor, I do assume that you've got like integrated comms, helmets. Now, that does assume that the helmet is being worn. I don't think it's like police body cams where it's always on the front. It's got to be, I'm in combat and my helmet is on.
Yeah.
So to put a pin in that answer, I don't think you have any actual video of this event.
Okay. I'll definitely be looking through sort of notable people and see if I recognize the person that was sitting there watching. Like, I'm assuming I'm not going to recognize the sidekick at all, but I'll see if the person on the sofa was anyone important.
Okay. How do you mean? Do you mean like so what is that looking through?
Basically looking at notable people within Mercur, and see if it's anyone reasonably high up the corporate structure.
Oh, gotcha.
We didn't get a name.
Well, no, because we know who Celica is, and she almost certainly wasn't there.
Yeah, it wasn't Celica.
Yeah.
Celica is Das's sister? ?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a question mark, exactly.
Yeah, like, I'm not confused about whether that is the state. It's like whether she is the sister. That's what Mercur claims. I'm just not sure about that. Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're doing though. You're kind of you're not looking at surveillance footage. You're looking at Mercur Core.
Roster, yeah.
Open.
Yeah, I'm basically going off the brief glimpse that I've got of the guy. See if there's someone else that's like, oh, that was the person that was sitting there. See if I can find that in, because if they're low level Mercur, I don't care. But if it's someone high up, I want to know.
Okay.
So I'm going to look through the high ups and see if it's one of them.
Yeah. This is gonna take some time, but sounds to me like either administer or. I think there's no or.
Okay. Administer's fine.
Yeah, administer intelligence.
Administer
I guess
intelligence.
in the meantime, Myokin is grabbing guns/bombs from the armory, and then making way over to Percy to port into place.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the thunder gun, I think the void carbine is probably for the best because we're trying to be polite, but also the thunder gun sends a very large threat.
Yeah, it's like the void carbine is probably better for structural. The thunder gun is better for message.
The thunder gun, in a different way, is also better for structural.
Well, yeah, depends what you'd want to do to the structure.
Exactly. Yeah, I have options.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna bring.
9 doesn't get me much.
Oh, it's a small room, so I feel like we can actually get away with just like pistols.
See, we could. However,
can you fire large guns in a small room?
As long as nobody's getting in his face and actively trying to prevent him from firing it, yes.
Okay, because the place is like a couple people wide.
Okay. Well, fortunately, I have close combatant, so yeah, pistol probably makes more sense. I'm safe.
Yeah. The Mercur space was larger than your security office. They got a little executive, lobby bar there. It had enough room for a little wet bar, and some couches. So we're looking at maybe I don't know, small company lobby. What's my room about? No, it's like 15. So 10 by 15. In hexes, it would be, I guess, 2 by 3.
Okay, so intimate.
Yeah, very intimate. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, grabbing handguns, porting over Percy ways, and then porting with Percy. Doug isn't here, so not Doug. Over to location 3.
You know what?
I sent Doug to go talk about the trade deal.
Yeah, I missed that, but I was having the exact same thought. So yeah, that's a fantastic idea that takes Doug out for the scene or the session.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Dex. I didn't actually say it. You didn't miss it. I just thought it.
Oh.
I was me saying it there.
Okay. We're on the same wavelength, and that worries me. Okay. I'll call my therapist later.
You know what?
Virally to try and kill the party.
You know what? I can't even get mad at that one. I have a therapist.
But yeah, I think sending Doug off to finish the trade deal satisfies getting him out of our hair, continuing the trade deal, and it's also very in character. He wants that done because he wants to get back to the ship.
I'm gonna hand Percy the guns before we port in.
All right. Before we get to that, I want to look back at the tube outside your security station real quick.
Okay.
Lulu, if you're available here, what's going on? Got a glowing ball of crew out in the tube and a monster that has been torn apart by you guys and then mutated itself to death in trying to fix the damage you did.
Yeah, I think at this crew is basically what's the word for it? Slurping his way right back to Virgilia.
I don't think that's the word for it. Try again.
Okay.
He is not a spice monster.
Swaggering?
Snickting?
He's making his way back to Virgilia anyway.
Yeah.
He's making his way downtown. Gliding past, faces past.
I think at this point, Virgilia's mostly just been staring in kind of this sort of like horror but can't look away sort of deal at the creature as it continues to mutate into whatever this is. A pile of nothing.
For some context, on Audrima, horror was not an approved media.
Yeah.
People could get it and or make it, but it's very rare.
We did have violent space TV.
You did have some, yeah.
Well, whatever. No horror though. Interesting.
That's going to be a fun conversation later on.
What's the violent space TV?
You just mentioned something about having them having access to some like standard sci-fi stuff that included like action.
Yeah, that would all kind of be in the same boat as horror. It's not approved. You get it, but it's not approved. Some of it is homemade, by the limited talent pool in Tranquility. And some of it does come in from the outside. It's just that Audrima never tries to get it. Doesn't buy it off of passing ships and doesn't actively broadcast it in because of course it gets all the promos and adverts and the free episodes and the free movies. They all get to the beacon out there, but Audrima doesn't transmit those back to the cities unless it's approved content.
Gotcha.
So you get some horror, you get some violence. It's like watching a slightly forbidden movie. Mother disapproves of you watching R-rated movies. I think that's the best analogy I can come up with is you're watching an R-rated movie if you're watching horror. You know you're not supposed to, and Mother disapproves.
Is it mother or mother?
It's neither really. It's definitely not Mother as we encountered before.
Okay. That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
That sounds menacing. What
No.
is that a thing? I don't like that as a thing.
It is a thing, and Mother was fine. I don't know what Nox is complaining
Jesus.
about. All right.
You do realize that makes it worse, don't you, Dex?
Back to Lulu.
Regardless, I think I've mostly just been staring in horror staring in horror and biofascination at whatever's happening here.
Okay.
Staring in horror, Mother disapproves.
Yeah, Mother disapproves. But I don't know that I've really been doing anything much other than trying to figure out what the hell that was.
All right. Crew has not slurped back to Virgilia and is trying to be a comforting presence.
That's fair. And she appreciates this.
Orion is taking leadership of the situation. He leaves the security room once the thing is dead. Keeps Kevin's guns trained on it. And goes over to check on the still living security guy, and also to check that the dead one is dead. So unless you guys have anything else you want to do with that scene, we can consider Orion to basically be handling the interface between Nox security and the Raza.
Good time. Meanwhile, we're going to go make a different problem for Nox security.
So, Kana and Percy.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to go with Das?
No. No chance.
It would be an absolutely immense, jaw-droppingly strong power move if we rescue Das from the kidnapping and then take her back to watch the kidnapping being dismantled.
It would, but I think a little too far.
Yeah, Percy's not going to say it, but I think it would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And what about Virgilia? Well, let me ask this: is this action by Kana and Percy, is it being told to anyone else?
No, in part because I don't really have much effort left.
Okay. Wow. That gives me a little bit of a elation high as a GM. I am draining the effort. That feels good.
Actually, it depends.
No, don't take this away from me. No, depends.
It's okay.
No, you're good. I was like, it depends on what my my mastered technique is, and my mastered technique is offensive apport. Not offensive apport, deep space intrusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was burdened or the rift reduplication, then it would be somewhere.
Yeah.
In fact, I may move it over to one of those because I'm using them really often.
All right. Well, at the moment, so Virgilia doesn't have a chance to be included in this. I don't know if she'd want to, anyways.
That's perfectly fine. She'd probably agree to go if she was asked, but I'm fine with not being included in this, especially since I personally am very distracted at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Kana and Percy. You can suit up. You can gear up.
You would not believe how much effort it takes to, like, rift reduplicate port somebody out.
Yeah.
It is very costly.
Yeah. So
I do have a question. Do you tell Das that you're doing this?
if you're in the group text, are you in the group text? I'm pretty sure you're in the group text.
So then Virgilia does also know about it then, right?
Oh,
I guess.
that probably is true then.
Yeah, I believe she's in the group chat.
Yeah.
So it'd be, pizza delivered, bring stuff back, and then we go. Plan goes into action. I'm trying to prevent them from leaving the room, which means I'm doing this as fast as possible. We are there, hopefully, 12 seconds after we poured out.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, it sounds like Das does know that something is going on. Does she respond quick enough?
If Das knows that you're going back in, she would just have a request of send a video feed out.
Sure. Dex, here's a question actually. Because Percy's got a kind of military background, and also his combat field uniform is customized.
Mhm.
Is it reasonable to assume that you could have asked the camera to be moved to the front of the chest instead of the helmet?
I'm not a fan of the front of the chest. Let's go with a kind of a shoulder mount, like not popping up from the shoulder, but around
front of the shoulder.
that area.
That's fine. Probably looks like a shot actually.
Separate point. Percy has cyber eyes, and then I have the instinct. I have the communication thing in my brain.
Yeah,
that's a fair point actually. Yeah, that's a fair point. Hey, we can live stream it.
Yes, you can. From Percy's eyes.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Say that's what Das needs to get is cyber eyes.
Yeah.
All right. Then is there anything else you need to do before I have you teleport in?
Not that I know of.
All right.
Let me just fix my gear.
All right. Give you just a moment for that. And then... BAMF! You're in the room. Does Percy have his, is he bringing the BFT? Thunder Cannon?
You know what? That's actually a Myokin question. I don't have any control over what gun she brought.
What?
I could even have asked for it and I still don't know what gun she brought.
Oh, right, because she's basically teleporting the gear to him, isn't she?
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's safe to assume that she brought a mag pistol, because that's a thing that I've been using a lot of lately. Beyond that, I do not know.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, if there's a laser pistol that you use and that you'd want to use, I can bring that. Otherwise, mag pistol, X2, and thunder gun.
Okay, Percy has the thunder gun.
Just to make a statement.
Okay. So is it drawn when you port in? Drawn, aimed, and leveled?
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so.
Well, you teleport into much the same scene as Das was greeted with. There's a attendant behind the wet bar that well, there's a slight difference. He does not start making prepping up to make a drink when he sees you enter. He screams, and the other guy drops his data slab and then freezes, and they both look in terror at you.
Where's the last one?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Is that something that Kana is saying?
Something that Kana is thinking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's only those two in there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, in that case, I am gonna genuinely quite calmly this time say, we're here on behalf of the kidnapping victim. What the fuck?
They look at each other. What? Who?
Girl got teleported in here not too long ago, against the will without being asked.
The guy sitting on the couch. I think you have the wrong room.
Is it the same people?
It is the same people.
Hmm.
There's no question about that. I'm not making you roll anything. It's the same people.
We don't.
Okay, what girl? Kidnapping?
I have a gun that could blow a hole through the wall to space, and you're fucking with me. You know what, girl?
He shakes his head. I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. How about the young lady? Percy rattles off a description of the woman that he met outside that teleported Das away. The blah, 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 blah. The teleporter. Ring any bells?
He shakes his head, and I don't know anyone like that.
Is anybody digging in this room?
Nobody's digging in this room, but the person, the bartender, they're Percy. You can see that they're making a call.
Yep.
Looks like they've connected in the direction of the central hub. It's a blast of communication out at first, and then an established kind of spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum line is how I'm perceiving it. That he is connected with the Nox hub.
Hey, Percy, look at him. Oi, put it down.
I'm just calling security. He hesitates before saying the last word, but can't think of a better word to say.
Yeah. That's fair, but I will invite you to consider how fast do we show up here? How fast can I pull the trigger? How fast do you think we can vanish? You sure that's a good idea?
The line disconnects.
There we go. See? Easy enough. I don't want to shoot all of you. I want answers. Simple enough. So,
both of you go
is
ahead.
anyone else here?
Both of you go ahead and roll a. I'm gonna get away from the wisdom notice check because it does come to my attention that it's rolled way too much. So this is gonna be a wisdom talk or wisdom connect roll.
Do we both make the same one? Do you both make different ones?
You can both make different.
Okay. They are the same bonus for me, so that person you choose one, I'll do the other.
Oh, I already did connect.
Okay.
Because it's measurably better for me.
No, I don't want to pull up the X card. Get that out of my face.
Oh. You want all notice checks to be rolled with notice instead of talk or connect, and gotta X card it.
So wait, hold on. If you're doing talk instead of notice, are you using like echolocation or something?
No, this is just a conversational interpretation of body language. I would allow notice if it were.
I'll take notice.
Yeah, you can.
Now hold on, Dex. If I wanted to take a specific focus that let me use talk instead of notice, could I lore justify it as echolocation?
Do you want me to roll notice? No, my notice bonus is exactly one better.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll it, or do you want to just do the one?
Sorry, I'm still trying to get over what Lulu has said.
Okay.
I'm sure you can get that at Cyberware.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll notice. It's fine.
Okay. Cool. +1 bonus pales in the face of rolling too lower.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Where's my just normal person? I actually have to make a new character sheet for this.
He's making an echolocation feat.
If you want, my guess on what's happening, aside from the obvious, they're lying. That's
Yeah.
the point. It could possibly be what is the identity trigger. And they could be sleeper agenting.
Hmm.
They're probably just like.
I don't know the cyberwares.
I think it's quite likely that they're just lying.
Yeah. Although Mercur are going to quite a lot of effort to try and get me, so.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Fuck it. For fuck's sake.
Oh.
Okay, good.
Couch dude.
It's been cracks.
And apparently his name is OG Sliamia. Roll 20s, random names. Not so much random names, but just random combinations of letters.
Yeah.
Mm.
So what his name is finally a fucking break from these dice.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm trying to call him break for short.
He is. Percy can see that he is way more. He's stressed in a way that isn't just, hey, there's a dude with a gun here at me, pointed at me. There's more going on under the hood.
Yeah, he seems stressed in a way that there's a dude here pointing a gun at me because he's unhappy with things that are true.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Percy's gonna notice that just like as he's looking across the room, and his eyes sort of lock onto that guy, and he smiles a little bit, and then he adjusts his body so that he's tilted just a little bit more that way, and he says, "How about you? Do you know anything?"
I don't know what you're talking about. You have the wrong room.
Yeah.
Percy makes traffic noises at him.
Yeah, Percy goes. I'm joking.
Does it scare him that Percy starts making traffic noises at him?
Oh dear.
So, I think now is a good time to take a break. You're in a room aiming a gun at a person who clearly knows something has happened, and is doing his best to act like nothing just happened.
Yeah.
Give you a little bit of time to think how you want to approach this, and get our break on time.
Yeah, that's good. I do think that the breather to think about how this might go is good because we're reaching the point where I'm going to have to follow through on some of my threats.
Yeah. All right.
You're making me commit to the bet.
Put up the break card, and come on back in 15 minutes. And bring it back into frame. All right. So you've got these two Mercur core in front of you. You know that they've seen what they're saying that they didn't see, because Kana saw them both here in the brief flash that she was present here. And the guy on the couch dude, is sweating metaphorical bullets. He is not quite to the point of physically sweating them yet.
Yeah.
He's holding himself fairly well for the situation that he's in.
Which is reasonable, yeah. Okay, so the last thing was that I asked him if he has anything he wants to volunteer, and he said no.
Yeah, he continued to deny that he knows what you're talking about.
Okay. Alright then, in that case, I have a question, and then I have a suggestion, and if I don't get a satisfactory answer to either of those, well, I'll just see where the mood takes me, huh?
Why are you doing this?
I led with it. We're here on behalf of the kidnapped girl who was brought here and very quickly extracted from here.
There was
and then we're back here.
No girl here.
Really now?
Yeah, we have cameras. You can see.
I mean,
They do have cameras
just
in the
because
room.
Yeah, no, I believe you have cameras in the room. I also believe that it's totally in your interest to wipe such footage. And ironically enough, the person in our team who would be best to identify that kind of thing is the exact person who was brought here against her will. But anyways, yeah, so the question was, if she wasn't brought here, then how the fuck did, and gestures across to Miokin, how the fuck did my colleague go to her and wind up here? You got an explanation for that one, gentlemen?
I don't know who she is either, says looking at Kana.
Mhm.
I've never seen you in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't particularly expect you to. She's fast. Okay, you got nothing for us. Right. So then, I am gonna speak hypothetically. You insist that you didn't take A1, that you weren't party to A1 being taken, that nobody's been here except you two today. Is that what you're telling me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so, indulge my curiosity for a moment. Say, hypothetically, you guys and one or more colleagues are meant to bring a very high-profile person here. Like, you're insisting that you didn't, so I'm actually starting to believe it a little bit. If they're paying attention, they can tell that's bullshit. He's not starting to believe it a little bit at all. Starting to believe it a little bit. Hypothetically, if you did try and drag someone here, and she gets removed, and then some of her compatriots come along, maybe it's, we talk, we see where things go. It's not even necessarily that the hypothetical kidnapping victim in question would necessarily be opposed to meeting your hypothetical employer. And wouldn't it reflect well in Miss... Percy stops himself before he finishes saying Miss Mercur. Wouldn't it reflect well in your hypothetical employer's eyes if the kidnapping attempt gets foiled, your target gets snatched out of your reach, and then some of our friends go, hey, maybe just reach out for a meeting. If you don't try and kidnap her, we might even say yes. Wouldn't you like that to be the message you take back, rather than being used as a message?
How do you think Percy is presenting this? Is he trying to connect with this person on a partnership level, or is he trying to convince them that Percy has a good idea? There are two different skills related to those.
I do feel like it's genuinely in their interests to, like I say. Okay, so basically what I'm getting at here is that, like, we may have brought Das to meet fucking Celica. If she'd offered a meeting, we would have went into it very cautious, but we probably would have went into it. But because they keep trying to kidnap her, we're very much against it on principle. And so these guys either get to look good by facilitating Das coming to Celica after escaping 2 kidnapping attempts, or we kill them as a message.
Okay.
Not outright stated, but that's basically what I'm going for. And like I say, they are being extremely uncooperative in the first possibility.
Right. So this sounds like a talk check to me then. This isn't trying to connect.
Sure.
This is convince them not to die.
Sure.
Go ahead and give me a charisma talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, guys. Be reasonable.
Okay.
They're not going to be very reasonable, I don't think.
It's not an opposed check.
Okay.
And
I'm saying if they continue to fail to give us anything, then we're going to need to change approaches.
Nox, do you think Kana is contributing to this at all? I had viral roll before asking if you were trying to aid anything, so I'm giving you an opportunity post roll.
Right, you have been quiet. I mean, I'm sorry, I've been taking up the whole conversation.
No, I'd be kind of alluding to the same things, but yeah, Mercur is maintaining the position of I know for a fact that I was here. I remember for a fact that you were the ones here. There is someone missing. We'll find her.
You could even give evidence like, I remember that you were doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah, like that we are very far past the point where they could lie and say that nothing ever happened.
Okay. I guess what I'm looking for is how Kana is contributing in a way that kind of suggests a skill check other than talk. It's fine that that's what she's contributing to the conversation, either verbally or non-verbally. But how do you want to represent that? Do a perform?
Yeah, I could do a perform. Like, no matter what I do, my ability to communicate with any other being, living or otherwise, is a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Oh dear.
Okay.
Okay.
We might have a shot if I like punched it, but like that's not happening.
So, unfortunately, the difficulty was 8.
Alas.
And so, while convincing, and while presenting things in a way that you guys have kind of learned Mercur operates on inside betrayal and trying to get ahead. It was a very convincing argument. That's why the difficulty was only 8. Unfortunately, it was 8. And despite clearly fearing for his life, he's shaking his head, says, I don't know anything what you're talking about.
Well, wait, which one is it that said that?
Couch dude.
That is unfortunate.
Does Percy kill him?
Yeah. Give me a moment. I'm debating. Leaning towards yes, but I'm debating. Yeah, I'm gonna turn to the guy behind the bar and just go, you don't know anything either?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, bar guy's getting it. Fine.
Okay. So, is Percy using the thunder gun?
No, I'm gonna just I can draw a weapon as non-turn action. I'm gonna let the thunder gun sort of, the end of it sort of drop to the floor. Whip out the mag pistol with my spare hand, and just blast a hole in the dude's gut, basically.
Okay. The mag pistol will still penetrate through him, through the couch, and through the wall. It is going to create a hole, but it's not such a big hole that you're going to instantly start suffocating.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I'm shooting bar guy.
Oh, you're shooting bar guy. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to think about the position of where bar guy is. Will it affect your decision if bar guy is in a position where you might punch a hole through multiple walls of like nearby rooms?
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Couch guy's getting. I'm sorry, couch guy.
All right. If you want, I'm happy to roll 50-50 because I hadn't established ahead of time whether bar guy. It was in my mind, but I didn't say anything, so I'm happy to roll 50-50 to see if he is in a position that Percy knows would result in further collateral damage to other spaces people might be in.
Well, I know that before I take the shot.
You will know that before you take the shot.
I would like to know that.
All right. Go ahead and roll it. Any even die you want on a low, he is. On a high, he is not.
Hi.
Why do you
Wait.
do these things to me?
Yeah, hi. You said any even.
I did say any even, yes.
Yeah, any even.
That's high roll.
Is in fact
High roll.
even.
And it did roll high. I
Yep.
couldn't just look at it and see how many digits were in there on a simple glance. But yes, that is high. So
so-
high in your favor. Shooting bar guy will not cause collateral damage to other rooms.
Bang.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll the attack roll?
Nope.
Okay.
It's not an attack 'cause you're not in combat, but if you want to do anything special with it, you certainly could roll a shoot skill check.
Hmm.
Make it look good.
And I will say that rolling low on a shoot skill check will not negate the fact that you just shot him. He will still get shot and die.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is purely roll for success.
Yeah.
Roll for higher success, I guess.
Okay, I will. Then I'm going to aim for his mouth.
Oh Jesus! Okay.
Roll for flair, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as close as you guys are,
Good enough.
and despite them kind of expecting this result, I think that still gets it.
Okay. Yeah, the fucking mag pistols and flesh do not go together very well. Not for the flesh anyway. The guy's jaw just sort of explodes and sprays out of the back of his head.
Yep, and I'm pretty sure that this also severs his spinal column. He's painlessly dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And Percy is going to fucking, like a cowboy, blow the imaginary smoke off the edge of the mag pistol, reholster it, lift the thunder gun again, point at the other guy, and go, there we go. No more lies, and as painless as I could make it. He's just a cog in the machine after all. So, does that jog your memory?
Roll me a charisma talk with a +1 bonus.
Really, all that's only worth a +1.
It got you there.
Hey! I'm sorry, +1 bonus. I shouldn't have talked shit.
Percy notices this. His eyes flicker to the camera as he is, without moving his head, as he is shaking his head. Well, I guess he is moving his head. Without moving his head to look at the cameras.
Yeah.
And as he was shaking his head and saying, I can make something up if you want. I seriously, I don't know anything.
Can Myokin destroy the camera?
Yeah, she probably could. How does she want to do that?
Something simple. A knife or literally anything into the camera itself.
Yeah, you could roll a skill check again. Sneak, stab, or if she's got her bow with her, shoot.
Dex,
I do have the hand dagger.
Yeah, or exert would work too.
The shoot though? Yeah, so I'm gonna go for I'm gonna punch with the Kanku.
Yeah. What's your question, Viral?
My question is, you said that the guy looks at the camera. I assume that Percy is not leaving this guy's field of view. You said he looks at the camera. Is the camera at such an angle that it can pick up our faces?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the way.
Doesn't matter to me if he's wearing a mask.
Which
As it doesn't matter to Myokin, she's wearing a mask.
God damn it, I should have thought of that.
What'd I say? It was 2x3. So I'm gonna double the size of this just to make it. Whoops, wrong one. What was he? FF? Yeah. Just to give us a little bit easier time seeing it. So there's 2, 6. Oh, 2, 4, 6. All right. I had originally visualized a bartender guy over here, where like an entry would be over here, and so you being here and shooting him here would have gone straight into whatever is over here. With that roll, we're gonna move bartender guy to right over here, so that the mag round, it still hits something outside of this room. But that something is a ship, then your mag round is not going to penetrate anything there.
That's nice.
I think Couch Dude is. Well, I planned to make this bigger. Is occupying this couch. Over here. Bar Dude is over here. And there's probably some additional couch type stuff over here. With like maybe a nice planter in the middle. It's nice for being on the Nox. Mercur core clearly, you know, throws some money around. And the actual airlock is there. I forgot to draw the tube. There's the tube. So, yeah, cameras are over the airlock looking through. It's one of those fisheye wide angle. It can theoretically get the whole room. It probably isn't getting what he's saying, but he's more concerned about his words being heard than him being seen.
Okay.
Or at least than his words being picked up by lip reading. A 7 on. Oh, you used punch. I think that's probably fine also. Is that your highest skill among those listed?
It is, in fact.
Okay. All right. Kana did not fail to hit the wall. But the camera isn't destroyed.
Darn.
I'll give you a choice here of either. I guess it's not really much of a choice if I say it bounces off and clinks to the wall, clinks to the ground. How do you feel about the knife embedding into the wall, in a way that it is only blocking half the room?
Yeah, that works. Oh, I mean, it's a punching dagger. It's not. We already discussed what that looks like. It's a very small thing.
Yeah,
So.
but if you get it close enough to the camera, you can, you know, at least block off. Use a different color. You can block off everything from this side. Giving the guy a little bit of freedom to express himself non-verbally. Is that what you're intending?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I completely missed that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah, the guy was signaling that he can't really talk openly.
Okay. No, in that case, that's definitely workable. Yeah, Mag Pistol, shoot out the camera.
What's that?
I said, he wants to talk. He can't talk openly. That's fine. I'll shoot out the camera and we'll let him work with him.
Okay. Well, Kana has already made it so that the camera is effectively unable to see him. Do you also want to shoot the camera?
Actually, I probably shouldn't risk it on my pistol line, should I?
Mag pistol does quite a lot more damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In that case, I'm going to stalk over to him into the what I believe is the zone that is blacked out.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to whisper, so what was it you were saying?
He starts.
It's a tech thing, right?
Oh, what's that?
He can't like talk. He's being picked up by the microphone, right?
Yes, yeah. He
Okay.
Hand him a
starts
data slab.
signing.
Yeah, hand one. Oh, signing. Okay. Do I know? I'm not sure I do know signing.
I
That'd be a
have.
language in itself, wouldn't it?
It would be a language in itself. Yeah, I haven't actually listed it as a language I keep meaning
Okay.
to.
Okay.
But you
Okay.
have someone who does. Virgilia has
Oh wait.
all languages, all sector known languages. It is a
Mm.
standardized sign language, so it counts sector wide. And you guys already have the hardware sending over a video feed.
We don't know if Virgilia's watching, so I am going to instead hand the guy a disposable data slab. I'll type out, so what were you saying, and pass it to him.
Are you asking if the player am watching, or if Virgilia is watching?
If Virgilia is watching, but like we don't know either way.
Yeah.
Okay. If Virgilia is watching, she. Well, yeah, I'll leave you to decide if she's watching. She certainly knew that this was going down and that there was a broadcast to bridge crew only. And she would recognize. She can understand what the guy is signing. You can certainly send a message over. He looks warily at the data slab, but takes it. And pulls up, a scribble pad, basically. And uses...
I'll put the thunder gun away as a sign of goodwill.
Okay. He's a little bit less worried. Little bit. And he pulls up the stylus and scrawls out in shaky writing. That let's see, what is he going to say here? Would she meet with Celica Mercur?
I will write back. There's a better chance of her going to meet than there is of us not coming to rescue her from a kidnapping.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I said there is a better chance of her coming to meet Celica than there is of us not rescuing her from a kidnapping.
Probably true.
Probably?
He quickly scrolls, I had nothing to do with that.
Well, I'll scroll. But you at least acknowledged that it was happening. I knew you knew something.
He scrolls again. We have to cut this short and you have to hit me. Here's my number. No, here's my number. He leaves a location on the Nox.
Yeah.
And a time.
Okay.
And then he presents himself ready to be hit.
Ready to be hit?
Yeah, he says, we can't continue this, you have to hit me, and then leaves the location to meet. Location and time.
Okay. Yeah, I will give him like a decent sock in the, let's say, the middle of the chest. That's less sensitive than like the face.
Okay.
Decent thump in the chest.
Okay. I won't make you roll anything for that. I think that's well within
Versus
capability. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
And he takes the hit, wheezing.
Yeah.
Mercur security and
wait,
other staff are not very.
Wait, sorry. Just one more thing that I wanted to add before we go. I'm going to ask him to just like deliver a message or leave the message on the body of the guy or something like that. And the message that I would like him to pass on to Mercur is simply stop trying. And then the date and planet where they last tried to kidnap Das and turn someone into a mutant monster. Remember when Doug schmoozed his way out of being caught up in an investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever plan that was, whatever date that was, just that and stop trying.
He pushes the data slab back to you and prepares to get hit.
Bang.
Alright. He wheezes and dramatically falls over into what he believes is the camera's within the camera's view.
Yeah.
Let me roll perform for him real quick. See if the dice are still on the NPC side.
I think they're on the side of whatever is less convenient for us.
Yeah, would the dice being on the NPC side here be him rolling poorly or him rolling really well?
I don't know. I think the dice have spoken because that's a fairly middle of the road. That's an 8 before, bonuses. So I guess the dice have said yes. Okay. He starts acting out how terribly hurt and put off, injured he is from this exchange.
Yeah, I'll step on him. I'll step on him on the way out, like I would if it was just a body rather than a person.
Okay.
I won't put my full weight on it, but I'll put a bit of weight on it.
Okay. All right. You guys still have no idea where you are. Do you teleport away, or do you just try and get back to the Nox hub and then?
Can we figure out where we are before we go?
You could if you follow the signs. Like, it's not hard to get to the Nox hub. There are signs pointing this way to the hub. So yeah, you could navigate back to the hub. And then.
I guess are the bays numbered or anything? If we left the room, would we have a number of what bay we're at?
Yeah.
There we go.
Take that.
Yeah, it should clearly identify what arm of the Nox you're on, as well as how far down the arm you are. And not surprisingly, the Nox is not very far down the arm either. They're pretty close to the center.
Okay. Yeah, we have the number. Let's get the fuck out of here. We
Can
should
I do one last thing? I would like to. Can I see the? I guess their thing is connected to a ship.
Yes.
Can I just port in there, and then port back out?
You want to deep intrude into the ship?
Yep.
Yes, you can.
Cool.
You've now seen the inside of their ship.
Cool. Now we can leave.
I do think that another question that we need to raise, although I'll raise it after we get back, is the camera, the footage. What do Percy is on camera as having shot a guy there? They probably know who I am ahead of time, and now he has shot a guy there. They're going to correct this back to us.
Well, if
you're saying that like it wasn't already connected to us, they know who they're trying to kidnap.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
to keep things.
No, you don't understand.
And she can disappear it.
No, you don't understand. Nox security will connect this to us.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
If Celica wants to play nice with us, then Celica needs to disappear this footage too.
Huh.
Yes.
That is a really interesting point, actually. Are we willing to gamble the cooperation of UIS on that? Because I imagine they're not going to be happy if they find that we murdered some... Actually, if we murdered some Mercur groups on the Nox shipyard, they probably aren't going to mind.
To be fair, if the footage shows you
Mhm.
shooting someone,
Mm-hmm.
then something like 12 seconds earlier in that same footage,
Mhm.
there is Das just appearing and then Canna appearing to get Das out.
That's true. They didn't have time to wipe it, did they?
And
Okay.
presumably the rest of the people in that room have not been completely stationary for those 12 seconds. So you'd be able to see if it was sort of spliced or whatever.
That's a point, actually. Yeah, they wouldn't have had time to clear that. Okay.
So my point is basically if they've got the footage of the being shot,
Mhm.
they'll have the footage included in that of Das being there. At
Yeah,
which
because
point we say, yes, this was a kidnapping, this was a self-defense type. We're trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, there's a chunk of footage taken out, and also there'll probably be footage of you getting teleported away in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm willing to gamble on that, I think. How do we feel?
I'm gonna
Lily,
throw.
what's it?
I'm gonna throw one wrench into this.
Mhm.
It's something that I've mentioned like maybe once, and then just kind of left alone because you guys haven't tried to doctor footage before. But AI is good now. It's increasingly better in the future, to the point that I've established that footage of like somebody saying something isn't usually deemed credible unless there are witnesses present. Like as an example, if you had a video of Cassian saying that he wanted to take over all of Lamiera, somebody would think that was generated, that's a fake. The way that you get people credibly saying things is by having celebrity endorsements. Basically, you invite Rihanna to this announcement. You invite the president of the chess club to this announcement, because those people can independently verify that yes, they were there, and yes, they heard that, and yes, that's the real video. So the AI has gotten good enough that it's come around to word of mouth again.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Which then it kind of, yes, it means that they could like break the footage, but it also means we can just say no, that's fake.
Yeah, it goes both ways on that.
True.
It goes both ways. I think we're fine.
Yeah, because then we can ask you were out doing merchanting and stuff, right? So we can say to the merchants, oh yeah, no, the girl was there, and then the security team that were around the ship, no, we didn't see her go past. We only saw her come out. We only saw her come out afterwards.
Yeah.
Definitely teleported away and then teleported to safety.
Yeah, if the security footage, there may be security footage over on the trade side that would have seen Das disappear.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned before as well. Yeah, like there'll be footage of you vanishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
I'm happy.
I think the point that if they want to play nice, they need to make it disappear. I think that stands.
Okay. Lily, you've been very quiet. We seem to be in support so far, but I haven't heard from you. What are your thoughts?
I think I'm largely in support.
Okay.
Again, I've been way more distracted than I anticipated being, so I don't really have much to contribute at the moment.
That's okay. That's fine. Just wanted to make sure that we're not doing something that like one of the team is like, wait, no, don't do that, no.
No, I'm sure it'll be fine. The trick here is that I'm sure you've all been discussing like blowing up some major station or another, and I've just missed that part. So.
Oh no, don't worry about that. When the time that we blew up a major station, we did discuss it beforehand.
Okay. That's
this
great.
time it's 2, and they're not discussing it.
That's fine.
Yeah. So anyways,
if we blow up a major station.
Yeah. So anyways, about those 10 space stations.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. It's only 8.
Oh, that makes it okay then.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like you want to go to this meeting and see what he has to say. You've got some concerns and some assurances about the footage of Percy shooting somebody. And you have also, and I'm happy that this came up. You have also acknowledged that there's some diplomatic wrenches and tension involving the UIS. To answer a question that wasn't posed but was brushed, that was gently brushed, no, UIS would not be happy that you've if you've killed a Mercur person on the Nox.
Because it's on the Nox physically, I imagine.
Also because it wasn't very honorable. That was not a combatant. You take him prisoner. I mean, there's wiggle room there, but it's also I'm getting outside of the actual thing is.
Yeah, I would.
Don't create a diplomatic incident for Shinobu.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, if we want to argue it that way, obviously they're eventually going to win the argument because they are the ones who define honor, and therefore they can make whatever they like fit in it or out of it. But
yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I would argue that kidnapping is an act of violence, and going back to attack kidnappers is like, violence against violent people. But I will acknowledge that it was a somewhat disproportionate response. Somewhat.
Well, it was a disproportionate response because they didn't explain themselves.
Yeah, exactly. We gave them every out that we could.
If they'd explained what was going on, then they wouldn't have got shot.
Yeah, they would all have taken it. There would have been two of them to take a message back. Anyways, about this meeting.
Oh Lord.
Lulu is now realizing why we need that face character.
Yeah.
So, Lulu, does Virgilia want to go along with this?
Well, we're all going to die anyway and revert to the beginning. So yeah, sure. Fuck it.
This fucking nihilism again.
All right.
Now, here's a question. Does Das, very heavily disguised, want to come along?
Yep, I was just going to ask, how does Das feeling about how this has evolved?
I don't know. I mean, Das does not want to just go with them to wherever the heck Mercur wants Das to go.
Yeah, you want to say about that?
Das is definitely curious about where that is. She just doesn't want to go there.
You want to do a quick scene where we talk about it, actually?
Can do.
Sure. Yeah, so I guess Percy breaches back onto the ship and presumably has cut the feed from his eyes at some point.
Do you want this to be an open conversation? Shall I take you back to the ship screen so you can have a conference room with whoever's in attendance?
Sure, but the only person whose opinion I care much about is Das.
Of course, but others may have things to say to help Das's opinion. Well, not help her opinion, but to... Yeah, alright, so... Let's use the conference room, put Das in there. Kami is not hanging out in this one.
I'm going to be central.
Das is central.
Because I am.
Put Percy over there, and do Kana or Virgilia want to be a part of this conversation?
Probably ought to. So yes, sure.
Alright, I'll move you. Alright. So, open it up, Viral.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I'm just going to pass that one on to Genja. Percy just looks at Das. Thoughts?
I mean, I do want to know what they want with me.
I do think that it's really unlikely that they'll make an offer good enough that you're comfortable visiting them. And that's okay, I'm fine with that. But, possibility is open, and even if it wasn't, I want to know what the fuck's up. That's twice they've tried to kidnap you while a mutant is on the run. This the third of the mutants that has tried to kill one of us.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some information. You can have looked up the location that he gave you, and it's not any kind of like conference room or meeting room. It's basically some hallway or somewhere that's out of earshot, out of eyeshot. It would be a good ambush location, but it would also be a good place to discuss business out away from prying eyes, cameras, and microphones.
Yeah.
And for those who know Mercur, I will just tell you, this is almost certainly him trying to negotiate some kind of deal with you that gets him elevated in Mercur. Like, this isn't going to be meeting anybody important. It's going to be meeting him so that he knows what parameters he can use to negotiate with his uppers.
Mm.
I mean, then yeah, there's not much of a reason to risk Das's safety by bringing Das in
No,
person.
I don't think so.
Mm. Okay.
I would.
Okay.
I would like to know what's going on though. Still.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, we can have you on
yeah, mate.
like live webcam or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should really get a ghost talker transceiver of my own.
Kind of relay works.
It works, but it relies on us both to be there.
It does.
In the meantime, if we see this other woman on the ship again, is it on site? I feel like it's on site.
It's almost certainly on. It's leg shot on site. If she teleports away, collect blood so we can identify who she was. And if she doesn't teleport away, ring her for information and then on site. Which is not on site, never mind. Ring her for information initiative.
What's on site? Are we just killing her on site?
Accosting her in whatever way possible.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
If accosting her in whatever way possible ends with her dead, then we will have to cross that bridge.
We'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Yep.
If she's a psychic assassin, that means she's some kind of ninja. Killing a ninja is always honorable.
You know what? Good argument. I do like that.
Because ninja have no honor.
Makes sense to me.
I think it's more like there's no honor lost killing a ninja. It's not necessarily honorable, but there's no honor lost. Now, if you kill a ninja that you caught spying, then yes. Brought honor to your family. But anyways, digression.
Do kidnapping ninjas warrant being killed?
Does kidnapping fall under spying?
I think it still falls within in the act. If you encounter them later and you kill them, it's as if you've killed a non-person. But if you were able to kill her during the act, yes, you have foiled a dishonorable subterfuge plan or subterfuge action. I'll also interject, outside the ship, the UBCS team has arrived and has quarantined off this section of tube. Actually, it's only been a few seconds, hasn't it? It's only been a couple minutes, I think, if that.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's what's going to happen in like 5 more minutes. They get there pretty fast, but not that fast. Alright, so have you decided if you're going to meet with this guy, the location he designated, and who's going?
Mm-hmm. You know, I could feasibly say that I'm not going. That is a thing that I could do. I'm not going to, but it's a thing I could do.
Let's put if you're going to the meeting, put yourself at the top of the conference room box.
Oh, would you look at that? The place where I, the person who is going, already am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Making me have to move my token.
It's a cool
Let's-
thing.
Let's bring Libra.
Oh,
Okay.
I see. I've already been put at the top, so I'm not even given the choice.
And you have the choice. You have the choice.
No, I
Friendly
understand how
reminder.
it works.
I think Mercur Core has like the backdoor access codes to Libra.
Good plan. Never mind. Libra is off the menu.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be Spectre Star Technologies that has that.
Not taking any
Oh
chances.
yeah, it is Spectre Star. That's my mistake.
Not taking any chances.
I don't think that Spectre Star and Mercur are not affiliated, are they?
They're not
No.
friendly, no.
No.
They're business civil.
They're keeping things cordial.
Yes.
Yeah, we can probably. If Libra's okay with it, we'll bring her.
She is okay with it. She is very upset about what has happened with Das.
Understandable. Welcome back to the team, Libra. You know, we put it that way. Maybe we should bring acid.
I was gonna say would be the one.
Do you want to talk to this
On the
guy?
warpath.
we do want to talk to this guy. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. The four of you make your way back onto the Nox. You have to go through the Nox hub to get yourself onto a different arm.
Is it a thing that we're doing immediately, or do we have any period of time?
I'm sorry, I did time skip. You do have time.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and, with Das's permission, switch the thing from the sword to Das herself.
Yeah, sure.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. Never again. This is never happening again.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to do? Any other scene you want to have before I move us forward a few hours? He didn't put this on a different day. He seemed eager.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything.
Okay. All right. You
Hey
set up.
Dex, I'm just letting you know. There is a Kana pog under the Axel Wenzel pog that I can't get rid of.
What are Kana and Axel doing?
Nothing. Literally, absolutely nothing.
I actually don't see it. I think it might be just your screen only.
It's just a ghost pog.
That's just a Kana ghost bug. I'm sorry.
You sure
I
it's
can-
not kind of just teleporting around back and forth so fast that you can't tell
Not-
which one's the real
Not to see Axel Wenzel, I'll tell you that much.
All right. So yeah, you wind your way through. There's no winding. You make your way to the hub, and then at the hub, wind your way around to start out on a different arm of the Nox shipyard. It is the same arm that you identified the Mercur. That room is on. But you're going into, instead of going along the tube towards a thing, you're actually going into the living space of the arm. Now, the living spaces are very cramped and packed, and there's not a whole lot of room for privacy here. But they're also noisy, and people just kind of mind their own business because there's not a whole lot of room for privacy here. You find yourself in kind of a maintenance offshoot that goes off the side of the living space, the arm, by about a meter. Goes about 5 meters down parallel to the exterior of the arm, and then comes back in. You are basically in a cup handle on the outside of the living space section of the arm that was hodgepodged, patched on so that they could do maintenance on a bit of the external structure without spacewalking. It's like adding a balcony to your second story and just using the window out of the bedroom to get onto that balcony, and then putting like a mosquito netting over it to make sure that that space doesn't get in. Did I do enough a good enough job selling how patchwork the Nox is?
Yep. Speaking of Noxes, El Nox has raised an interesting suggestion in the Discord server.
I will bring it up after the game.
Oh, okay, never mind then. It wasn't about Bibiana.
All right.
It was something stupid, promise.
He is there and waiting. And there's space for the four of you there. You made sure that you knew what the location was before going there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more cramped than you expected, but there's still space for you.
In fairness, we did bring more people than you expected.
Yes. Like by double.
Yeah.
Anything reading on the psychic way or in the 360 vision way?
No.
Yeah, because I also have the 360 vision. No? Okay. Okay.
He is standing here alone. He's kind of fiddling with some with a terminal and acting like he's doing work here. He's dressed down. He's not in nice Mercur clothes. He looks like a local. You recognize him from his face and demeanor, and he looks scared of you. So that's another way to recognize him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he looks off to the side just to make sure nobody's coming in through his side of the attachment point for this cup handle. And leans forward. So
I will.
Yep. If Percy's gonna say something right off the bat, go for it.
No, I was just going to direct Libra to stay a bit back from us and keep an eye out. Which, I feel like it's sort of the stereotypical thing to do with the android, have them guard, but also sends a message that we don't need the android to deal with his bitch ass.
Well, she's obvious to anyone that knows androids that she's a combat android, so it's a statement. You've made a statement.
Yeah.
And he says, "So is she willing?"
Potentially, but quite anxious about it for reasons that I'm sure you can imagine.
Well, my colleagues certainly do seem to have mucked things up quite a bit, and if we could peacefully resolve it, I'm sure there's something in it for all of us.
I guess the main question is, why? I led with it before, I'll lead with it again. What do you want? What do your people want with her?
Believe me when I say I wish I knew the answer to that. I'm working my way up. All I know is what I've heard, that Ms. Celica Mercur has a personal and vested interest in that girl. Enough that there are several undertakers involved.
Undertakers?
Special operations.
Lovely.
You know, like, and kind of has a little derisive sneer to him as he looks out his side of the cup handle. Like, foreman in construction, or whatever this is called.
Alright then. I know that. I wonder, given how the attempts have gone so far, I am curious to find out how long it will take before she stops throwing good resources after bad. But I agree with you. Better for everyone if it stops happening in the first place. Now, I think I know the answer to this question. I'm curious to hear your answer to this question. Who is the girl? And Percy smiles a little bit, like the kind of answer this question carefully smile.
Rumor has it she is the director's long lost sister.
Actually, that might be correct.
Didn't she vanish years ago though?
Months after she was born.
Well,
that lines up with what we've said previously, at least.
It does.
Well, it doesn't tell us a huge amount, but at least they're consistent.
Yeah, no, which is good. It means that he's not like he's not feeding us a completely different story, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine that Miss Mercur, Miss? I imagine not Miss. Anyways, Miss. I imagine Miss Mercur would, given how things have been going, if she thinks kidnapping is an acceptable approach, I imagine she probably wouldn't be open to meeting on neutral ground.
Well, I'm not saying that she thinks kidnapping is an acceptable approach. It's likely that she has left the
Details?
negotiations to someone who didn't handle it as well as she would like. She may have no idea.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick on Virgilia here. He is very clearly just trying to cover for his boss.
No, that was clear.
Yeah, okay.
That was very clear.
Good.
Yep.
Right.
And
were there any attempts to reach out without the forceful side of this?
I'm just a field rep. I don't know anything outside of selling drugs to these animals here.
Yeah. Do you know how to contact your boss?
I'll have to go through an intermediary. There's no way I would be able to reach out directly to her, but I can make that happen. He owes me a favor. Before you think about trying to cut me out, don't.
That's,
mean,
that's not very convincing, right?
If you kill me, you never find out who it is I think could get you that audience.
I mean,
But-
yeah, but it's not like Mercur Corps doesn't have a million other field reps.
admittedly, like, took a bit of threatening. It took shooting a guy. But you aren't the first person turns back to the dude. But you are the first person that we're actually talking to about this rather than exchanging gunfire with.
True.
He kind of sneers. Those that have died in whatever operations this is, you've just culled the worst of Mercur. And left space for those better suited to handle the stresses and pressures of this sector's premier household goods and drugs purveyor.
If that was the worst that Mercur has to offer, then they are unrealistically high quality in field staff.
My God, though. I was told that someone in your position might try to keep up the sales rep thing, like, even in these sorts of situations. I didn't actually believe them, but you're doing a pretty good job of it. It's like horrible, but it's kind of impressive.
You've got a big ship there, 20% off on a ship supply of lift.
I would caution you that, like, I'm not going to kill you probably, but I think if you try pushing this point, Percy still might.
No, this is pretty funny. Now, Dex, this is an important point because he doesn't necessarily know who this girl is. Nobody else here is like familiar as Razakru. Percy has had some facial reconstruction surgery, but he still looks kind of like himself.
Mm-hmm.
Does the guy react to the mention of Percy at all?
Wait, was Percy mentioned?
Yeah,
Oh, Virgilia
say the
just
name
said,
Percy.
yeah, Percy.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me roll a check for him. I don't know. So do this. Yeah, where's my? I'll just pull a skilled professional token over. Where the hell did it go? Oh, it's at the top. Why is it at the top? All right. Hello there. Reaction.
Oh, that's a large man. He's as big as our entire private quarters.
Well, that there's your
wait,
reason
what?
why everything's a bit cramped.
You call him back.
Okay, the dice on my screen do not reflect the dice in the chat log. Because I thought that this was going to be. I thought a 3 is. It's not the worst possible reaction, but it is the second worst.
Okay.
But the dice say neutral, so I'll go with that. Or the chat says neutral. And I'll resize him because I might need to roll some more for him.
Mutating.
Yeah, he's already mutating. Kill him.
Again, really.
Oh, he's mutating into an even more sales rep form.
Ultimate sales rep.
Note that this is probably not distinguishable from a slug in his case, so you know about what you expect.
It's about what he currently is.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, if he starts mutating into something actually threatening, he's probably going to get jammed in the corridor. And we can step back like twice and then start shooting.
Are you telling me this guy is a yerk?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, no, the yerk would just be in his ear, wouldn't it?
It would.
I mean, it's not impossible. No, hold on. No, the fucking Vega are the yerks. Aren't they? Basically, in this setting?
Basically, I guess. I don't know what yerks are, so
Oh, animorphs.
okay. We've only got about 20 minutes left here, though. So, you've got this man here who is clearly trying to leverage the fact that you're talking to him, and will need some assistance from within Mercur, but is he is ultimately offering to put you in touch with Ms. Celica Mercur, non-violently.
I think this works on multiple levels.
Yeah.
This guy has done the thing, signaled a way to talk to us, and then actually met us to do a talk.
Mhm.
And like, I feel like he's just outright piece of shit enough that we can trust that he's only got himself in mind, and we can kind of factor that in.
Yeah, we can predict what he's going to do because it's going to be in his best interests.
Also, we can make it clear that like we continue going through him. He is the exclusive bridge between us and the people we're trying to get to, which is good for him career ways.
Mm-hmm.
But with the stipulation that he keeps the other people away from us, because we'll cut out his business from around him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm more or less on board with this. But yeah. Fucking. Virgilia said, "Yeah, no, I won't shoot. I won't kill you if you keep this up, Percy might." And I'm like, "No, I think this is funny."
So is that presented in character, or is that was that presented to the group for approval, and then somebody else is going to say it in character?
I was going to work something vaguely along that line anyway, so I can do.
Okay.
Yeah, a reaction to the name, or just as a dude called Percy?
No reaction to the name. No.
That's good. Okay.
Just a dude called Percy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think, and someone stop me from saying something that we don't agree with. But I'll turn to this slimy little weasel, and I'll say, I'll just sort of nod and go, I think we can potentially scratch each other's backs here. Your job is to, and I'll give him the comms info, I guess, for not my regular data contact. I Burner one, and yeah, your job is to take it as far up the chain as you can. Like I said, we're done with their bullshit. You remember the message that I gave you earlier? Someone suitably high up the chain of command, ideally Celica Mercur herself, but we're open to negotiations, can come and meet us in a neutral zone, which we can negotiate at the time, or they can keep sending spec ops, and they can keep dying.
He smiles.
But we're really done with this shit.
That's perfect. Let's get that on video. And he looks around the room for a place the camera would naturally fit. He picks one, mounts a camera up there with a little microphone, and then he has some notes. He tries to coach Percy on how to make this sound both more inviting and more threatening.
Okay. If it was just trying to make it sound more inviting, I was ready. If he was just trying to make it sound more inviting, I was ready to ignore him. Since he's making it more inviting and more threatening, I'm on board.
He is, yeah, and he also wants it included in this that only he shall be the he is totally on board with only him being the contact point for this.
Sure thing.
I imagine getting the boss's sister to finally meet with her after however many years is probably a promotion.
Like he recognizes the risk that this puts him in.
Yeah,
and he's taken that.
Yeah, fine.
If nothing else, I appreciate the Weasley backstabbing this.
Welcome to Mercur.
Yeah, we call him a slimy weasel, and he seems to be being one.
Yep.
It's what we want.
Does this guy mention his name at any point when he's putting himself in as the one and only person? Because anybody else could reach out to us with any other name we wouldn't know.
He will introduce himself, but he says that when you walk back up after the camera is rolling, he's gonna introduce himself again and say his full name, and you should act surprised and all that. He is actually wanting to put this on as a performance.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. And so he sets the camera up and tells you
Wait, I suddenly have a very bad feeling about this. We're not going to like whatever this name is. Carry on.
And has you retreat back to where you've got Libra, which is just outside the camera view.
Yep.
And tells you, says the signal is he'll thumbs up when he's got the camera all set up. The camera can't see him thumbs up, you can, etc., etc. And sets everything up and has you approach, turns back around as if he's just kind of working on some diagnostics. You notice that the equipment here is vaguely Mercur, so it's entirely reasonable for him to be here.
Did he do a costume change?
He did do a costume change. He actually no, you're right, because I said that he looked like a scrub. He looked like one of the locals. He changes for this video. Changes back into Mercur clothes to make it look like he's checking the atmospheric monitoring levels, basically. And then has you come in and perform the conversation again.
Yep. Yeah. So basically, the points are: this is a point of contact for Mercur. We want to speak to the manager. We want to speak to someone as high up the chain of command as possible, Silica Mercur herself, if possible, to arrange meeting in a neutral location. If they don't acknowledge this, we will keep gunning down their death squads. The kidnap squads.
Okay, and he plays it up. He's not hamming it up, but he does play his part of looking surprised and scared, but seeing a clear opportunity for Celica to reach the aims that she wants, and makes that deal with you on camera.
Yep. I'm curious, what is the contrived reason that we just go up to a Mercur guy and start making threats like this? Like, how did we know he was here? How did we start grilling him?
You know what? That's a good question, and I think it's one that he would have thought of.
Yeah, especially since there is footage of us going to the room where he was and fucking like shooting the other guy that was in the room and then blocking off the camera, and then this happens.
He does, yeah. So he plays that up. He says, "You again? How did you find me?" And plays it off like that. Lets you look even more badass.
Yeah, but terrifying trackers as well.
Yeah, and actually, you do have a lease, so she could have found him.
Yeah, true. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I reckon. I wonder if he's the guy who, like, would be cleaning up the camera footage or whatever from the room. I wonder if he's the guy who would have done that, or if the guy who would be doing that owes him a favor. Like someone with the skills to do that.
It's probably somebody else that owes him a favor.
Okay, yeah. So we're just playing it as if it's the very first meeting. That's fine.
Now that you've gotten a little bit more information about him as a field rep, his expertise is in sales. And not looking like he's divulging anything when threatened with a gun, even though he didn't do that great at that. He does have some background or some additional background and skill as the person that's checking these levels. Mercur is almost all scientists anyways, so he's sales and science.
Do we have a name for him yet?
Yes. Let me get it copy pasted with the accent.
Okay.
I also want somebody to roll a performance check for me.
Shit, that's the thing.
I'll take
I should have put a skill point.
I'll take it from everyone. Whoever's got the highest, just kind of as a group check.
Good. I was going to say, God damn it, I knew I should have put a point in performance.
That specialist performance would have come in handy here.
It would have. I do have a point in performance.
Good enough.
All right, and you
Okay.
got a good charisma, right?
Yeah, charisma +2.
Go ahead and roll.
All right, and no one else here has performance.
Nope.
Great. All right. Well, whatever. You want to help? I might need it.
We'll go ahead and allow a help roll, and I do want to stress that this isn't just a check on Virgilia perform. We're just using Virgilia's skills as the highest level of the group.
Okay.
So it's not a total failure on if she rolls low, which she didn't.
Not bad. Not bad.
So any other skills that could help? Talk and connect are obvious potentials for aid. I would also allow trade or admin as the kind of more business approach of it. Does anyone present want to roll any of those?
I spaced out for a second. Charisma or trade? No, trade or admin would potentially apply.
Trade, admin, talk or connect, or lead. You know what?
Ah,
The floor is pretty open on this one.
I'll roll connect. I'll finagle connect in there.
I could provide trade. I have trade 0, but if connect's better, then connect would be better.
Oh dear. Oh, that was a terrible roll.
Oh,
dear.
you do have specialist in connect.
I do, yes.
Okay. If you want, Nox, go ahead and let Kana also roll trade. We'll certainly allow multiple checks to try.
Can I use int?
For this, yes. Because this is
Trade, didn't you say?
trying to sound smart.
Trade?
Oh, nice.
Okay. That
Let's
does
go.
bring the perform up to a 12. So as a group, you guys put on a convincing performance of tracking down this technician who's just had a scare, but you know, as a good Mercur employee, got back to work, did his job, and he successfully negotiated to further Celica Mercur's aims with this violent criminal group that keeps killing Mercur because those Mercur were shit and were bad at their job. You know, didn't take the right approach, didn't assess the situation well enough.
He's planning to turn it into a training video later.
Yeah. See, if it wasn't staged, this would be really impressive. Although, admittedly, he did negotiate something like this, you know, relatively naturally.
Sort of. Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
If you hadn't seen through him, this wouldn't have happened, so take
Yeah.
that as it will.
Yeah.
All right. And he
Okay.
you know, ends with getting some kind of exchanging some kind of contact information so that you can be contacted when the meet and greet, I guess, is
Something like that.
yeah,
Yep.
is agreed upon. And I think that's a good place to end the session. I do want to leave a little bit of space for if anybody has. Obviously, you guys go back to the Raza. You know, just keep hanging out with him. I want to leave a little bit of space for how anyone, looking at you also, Das, reacts to this.
Investigation, probably. Looking into this guy and make sure he's not any weird stuff going on.
Okay.
Right, we probably speaking of investigation and other stuff that we do off like outside of the meeting, we probably should have negotiated something about the footage, shouldn't we, rather than just leaving it up to chance? Or does it paint us in a better light if we assume that they will assume that that's the way to play ball?
You guys did talk about that in advance before meeting with him, so if you want to include that in your discussion with him, I'll allow it. He does not. He doesn't want that in the video, though.
Sure. But yeah, basically, words to the effect of words to the effect of the camera footage from the room. I say the room, I also mean the corridors. Who doesn't know that? Doesn't paint either of us in a good light. So it's for the best of, it's for everyone's interests if we don't let it get out, right? Basically.
He does agree, but he is going to. He does want to hold that as a card. He's
That's
up
fair.
front at least telling you that he's not going. Well, I guess not at least. He's up front to threaten you with the fact that he's not going to have it deleted, but he will have it secured.
If anything, I appreciate him being upfront about it rather than, just playing it against us later.
Yeah, he wants you to know that he has it, basically.
Yeah. No, you want to be clear that that's a threat you can make. That's okay, I understand.
Yeah. All right. I can answer the question for Das investigation real quick. Unless she wants to go on to the station, onto the shipyard, and hack into some terminals there, she will be a little bit limited.
That's
Limited
fine.
to the public information.
I'll be
again.
limited. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then yeah. Go ahead and roll int admin check. This is not a high difficulty.
Okay. Admin.
Oh yeah, crushed it.
9.
He's by all accounts just a contact for drugs. He literally could give you a 20% discount on a bulk shipment of lift if you wanted it. That's
Hold on,
Which I'm
would
pretty
that
sure we
be a
have.
trade? That's actually something we might want if it's like trade good style.
It's not actually trade good
Yeah.
style. It's just like 20 doses for your
Oh,
ship
never mind
medbay
then.
to have. Yeah. But that's his job here is making sure that the Nox are suitably drugged, that they're continuing to pay for drugs that Mercur has said that they need, and some of which they probably do legitimately need. And he's also got a little of that technical background in he was at his station. He monitors any kind of seepage of atmosphere or like drugs in the atmosphere within the Nox out into space, counting particles through vents and however air escapes ship space stations. Yeah, he was doing atmospheric drug analysis at that station. So nothing particularly skeezy about him, aside from being Mercur. He's been passed up for promotion opportunities. Das can find that with that role. And we'll say that she can infer that the way it reads is actually that he declined the promotion because he likes his job so much.
Right.
Sure thing. Sure. Smiling and nodding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other scenes before we close this out?
Don't think. Enough me.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
All right. So let's go ahead and pull up the stream ending card.
See your future dates.